Okay, hi everyone. Now we are looking at question 2. Question 2 asks, does source B agree with source C? Okay, now most of you were able to tell me that source B agree with source C or source B disagree with source C. But the problem is that number one, matching is poor, and number two, you could have gone to higher levels. Now, what do I mean by that? Okay, let's take a look at source B and source C. Source B says that there have been isolated brutal incidents which the government will blame the Uyghurs. Okay, but you see, the idea is isolated. It was undeniable that the vast majority have chosen protests over riots, even the increasing force of use. So this is saying that the Uyghurs are largely not violent, and it is the Chinese government's way that is not fair or is unjustified. Okay, and then they also bring up that it's widespread camps cut off from their family, religion, regulate, circulate. They pick dress up in Han Chinese, learning Mandarin. Okay, so we have 2 points over here. The first point is about that the Uyghurs are largely peaceful. Okay, they use protest, they don't riot. And then the second point is over here. Okay, right now my color is not the color coding on a different perspective. Okay, I'm just showing you what are the possible things that we can match. Maybe I choose another color. Okay, so this is about the forced assimilation. Okay, so let's see if the other source have similar points. All right, so here is talking about suddenly going silent, cannot be contacted, suddenly vanish. Okay, all right. Oops, sorry, let me choose another color. So this one is about them suddenly vanish. Okay, did it mention here in the previous source that they are suddenly vanishing? No, so I can't really use this part. Okay, I can't really use this part in blue. They were detained but were not free to go home. Acts of violence have indeed taken place, but these are merely acts of violence by the Uyghurs have taken place, but these are merely in retaliation of government. So now they admit that this source admit that I actually use violence instead of I didn't use violence. So you see this versus the green. Let me remove this for greater clarity. Okay, see this versus the green. The green is saying that Uyghurs is largely peaceful, they are not violent, only an isolated one. But here they say that they are being violent. Okay, so actually I can talk about this green color one in terms of difference. Okay, next one, there's also talks about the detention camp, which is similar to the purple part. Okay, but unlike the purple part, they didn't talk about they didn't specify about the culture. They talk about political lessons. Okay, so it can be a similarity that they are all detained in the camp, as mentioned in the purple part over here. Okay, we can also say that the purple part is different because the purple part here is about in source B is about the Han Chinese. They're being forced to become like Han Chinese, where here is about daily political lessons. Okay, so I can say that it's similarity that they're being detained, or different because, and also I can talk about it's different because D is about the culture, whereas E is about changing the political inclination. Okay, another one that I can talk about difference is the green color part. Source C says that there is violence by the Uyghurs. Okay, but whereas here they respond to violence, but here in source B is saying that they respond through peaceful means. They don't use force. Okay, so these are some of the possibilities I can talk about. All right, and if I talk about both similarity and difference, then I will get a higher level. Okay, now the highest level will actually be those who use purpose. All right, you can see that both are trying to convince the international audience that the Chinese government is unfair to them. Okay, so they're trying to get people to pressure the Chinese government. So as you can see over here, this is all saying all the unfair things. All right, so they're actually trying to get people to pressure the Chinese government to stop what they do to their Uyghurs. And you can see here from here as well, they mention all the detention, okay, all the illegal detention without telling their families, the violence against they clamp down on them, and then force them to brainwash them. So there's this idea of, you know, this unfair is unjustified, and the international community should, you know, pressure the government to stop it. Okay, so actually you could, if you compare by purpose, that would be the highest level. All right, so some of you, I put mismatch. Why do I put mismatch? Okay, number one, some of you use the blue against the green or the purple. Okay, blue is about being silent, contact, force to take away. But where in the green and purple in source B talks about being forced to take away? Okay, so because there isn't of such things, then, you know, that's why it is not a match. It's a mismatch. Now some of you try to use the green over here, match with the purple, which is why mismatch. Some of you try to use the purple versus the purple, but you did not explain that, you know, what is similar about it. Okay, so some of you use the part over here, the part that underlying purple, the fact that they are being dressed up versus the political lessons. Okay, so how has culture and political lessons, how are they similar? So the matching is not very clear. If you have gone on to explain that they are forced to change their identity or forced to change their views, that would have been a much better match for both source B and C purple part. Okay, so please watch out for all these mistakes. If you are clear about this, then no problem. All right, lastly, a lot of you, I put the word conj. What is this? Can you please remember your conjunctions? Okay, a lot of you just put source B says this, source C says this. In between, I need the conjunction to show that this is a comparison paragraph. What conjunction can you use? If it's similar, you can use also, or you can use similarly. These are all your notes. Please go and study. Okay, if it's different, you can use however. Okay, it's the same for job. If I ask you to compare, I need to see these conjunctions to show that it's a comparison. Okay, it's either conjunctions or you use words with the comparative adjective, that means words with the ER at the back, like higher, taller, or whatever. Okay, but you don't see so much of these in SS because very rarely you have such simple comparison. Usually you use the conjunction. Okay, so please take note. Most of you can give me, if you see CC, it means that common criteria. So you're saying like both sources are similar in what thing? Okay, what's the common criteria? So for example here, the green, both sources are, the purple sources are similar in saying that there are camps where they force the Uyghurs to change their identity. Okay, then you go on to tell me what did source B say, what did source C say. I need the common criteria to show that it's a comparison as well. Alright, so I hope you know what is missing, and I hope you will fix these mistakes for your comparison.